It's good to see all of you, and thank you for taking time and come visit with us today. I want to start off by introducing several of our board members who are here. I see our Vice Chair, Manny Rodriguez, is with us. Anna Eastman over here to my left is with us. I think Paula Harris was planning to come, but she got tied up on a telephone call, and so we all know how that may end up running. Thank you for joining with us today as we announce how HISD students performed on this year's important TAKS exams. I also want to recognize two of our students that are with us this morning, which I'm very pleased to do. We're going to be calling on them in just a few minutes. Janessa McFarland from Dowling Middle School is this attractive young lady sitting right over here to my left. And Sharpstown High School student Axel Fernez is here with us as well, and I see Axel up on the front row. And I think their parents are here, along with several of their tutors that work with them this year. So welcome to our press conference. It's good to see you both. And let me start by saying we're very, very proud of you. Also would like to say a special thank you to our hardworking teachers in HISD. This certainly has been a challenging year when we've seen budget cuts and the uncertainty that faces us as far as our future is concerned. While we are not going to talk about accountability ratings today because we don't have our final results back, such as graduation rate and completion rate, I would like to say that this year is going to be tougher in that for the first time in our state's history, they have added special education student test scores to our accountability mix, and they have raised the bar in math and science by 5 percentage points in terms of what students' cut score needed to be in terms of passing, and we no longer use the state projection TPM model. So we know, like all the other school districts around the country and around our state particularly, that we're going to see perhaps a declining the number of students that were at the exemplary, recognized, and acceptable level because of those factors. Factors which our teachers, that's out of their control. These were causes imposed by the state. And so we wanted to be very clear about that. HISD students this year made significant gains on the Texas assessment and knowledge skills, which we refer to as the TAKS test in math and science. And I think that's particularly noteworthy because these two subjects have long proven to be a most difficult subject matter to master for students here in HISD and across the state of Texas. The boost in achievement happened both in terms of better passing rates and a higher percentage of students reaching their tougher commended level that shows whether students are learning at a pace that will prepare them for college and meaningful careers. Overall, the percentage of HISD students passing tests by the TAKS grew by a substantial 9 percentage point to 92%. Now, again, that's passing all subjects which they were tested. I see Carla back there saying to me, "Get it right, Terry." And so, yeah, 72%. It grew by 9 percentage points to 72%. So our kids passing all the tests they took, which we think is commendable, grew by 9 percentage points to 72% in the district. And the percentage of students scoring at the commended level in all subjects on the TAKS or TAKS accommodated now stands at 15%, which is a 5-point increase from a year ago. So we're very pleased with that. In math, the percentage of HISD students passing increased by 2 percentage points, up to 81%. And the percentage of students scoring at the commended level in math also climbed 2% to reach 29%. In science, HISD students raised their passing rate by 2 percentage points to 81% and their commended rate by an exceptionally impressive 4 percentage points. On the social studies exam, the overall passing rate increased 1 percentage point to 95% and the commended rate increased 2 percentage points to 42%. The progress made by HISD students, again, I believe is a credit to the district's strong teachers and our principals and the parental involvement that we have seen going on in HISD over the last year. I can tell you, and we all know it, there is nothing that has a bigger impact on student achievement than a quality teacher in every classroom. And that's only second to having an effective principal leading every school. And as you know, that is a commitment of our Board of Education as two of the tenets of their strategic direction, and it's something that we're going to continue to place a great deal of focus and attention on in the years to come. Reading is one area which we did not see the progress we had hoped to see. The district's overall reading passing rate remained unchanged at 85% across the district, even though the commended rate grew 2 percentage points up to 30%. On the writing exam, HISD's passing rate now stands at 91%, 2 percentage points lower than last year, and the writing commended rate was unchanged at 30%. Now, you may recall back in January of this year, I called out literacy as an area that we really needed to focus on in HISD. And we have asked the board to increase substantially the amount of money in our budget line item to address this serious problem in our school system. I think it's unacceptable that 70,000 of our children still read below grade level. And it's something that we plan to work on and work hard to improve next year. Dr. Alicia Thomas is our new Chief Academic Officer. She's going to be focused on this, and for those of you that have not met her, she is sitting right over here to my right, and she can wave, and I'm sure that you want to spend some time with her afterwards. She's going to tell you exactly what we're going to do to get after this whole issue of literacy in the district. Now, I know that we started out this year working on trying to turn around failing schools, and that's going to be something you're all interested in. Well, how well do these Apollo schools do during the school year? So I'll spend a few minutes just simply talking about those. 6th and 9th grade students at the Apollo 20 schools received intensive daily math tutoring that ranged from 70 to 75 minutes per day from a cadre of college-educated math tutors or math fellows who signed on to do the work for $20,000 a year. And I can promise you our numbers show that their work really paid off. 6th grade students who were enrolled in Apollo 20 schools for the entire school year posted an 85% pass rate on TAKS math exams, 22 points higher than 6th graders at those schools in 2010. Their commended rate is now 30%, an 18-point jump from last year. Apollo 20 ninth graders who enrolled the entire school year also made great strides with the help of their math fellows. These freshmen produced 72% passing rate in math, which is 16 points better than last year's freshman class. Their commended rate is now 20%, an 8-point increase from 2010. And I want to remind you that these were 4 failing high schools that had been failing, many of them 5 to 8 years. The 5 middle schools were unacceptable middle schools who had the lowest math and reading scores of the middle schools in our district. Among the Apollo 20 students who have been enrolled in HISD for at least 2 years, the impact of an extra period of math instruction was also significant. That group of middle school students improved their math TAKS passing rates by 17 percentage points and their commended rates by 2 points. The math improvement was also great among Apollo 20 high school students who received extra math class time and have been enrolled in HISD for at least 2 years. These were students that were getting what we refer to as the double dose tutoring of math. They were being helped by an online math tutorial program versus face-to-face time with tutors. For these students, their passing rate improved 21 percentage points and their commended rate grew by 3 percentage points. Now, I want to be clear because everything with the Apollo schools was not as rosy as I would like to have seen. We had several schools that I thought fell short. I was really concerned with our scores at Attucks Middle School, for example. We're going back in, we're taking a hard look at exactly what happened at Attucks. To me, it was unacceptable across the board. I can tell you that what we know about turning around schools, and a lot of that we learned from our friends in the charter world. When a charter school starts, they start up with an early grade and they grow 1 year at the time. So if they're going to start a high school or middle school, they start with 6th grade, and then the next year it's 7th, and the third year it's the 8th. And it's the same formula with high schools, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And what I've said from day one with these Apollo schools and any of our schools that we begin turnaround work, we certainly want to be judged by the first year. And I can tell you, overall, we were extremely pleased. Where we do have a concern at Addicts, yes. Do I think we could have done better in one or two of the other schools? Of course. But overall, top to bottom, I could not be more pleased. And I can tell you, we won't give up on them. These schools did not get in that shape overnight. It didn't happen in 1 year, and you're not going to turn them around in a year. It's going to take more time. And there's no question in my mind, because I've looked at the numbers, we're going to have more unacceptable schools. And we're going to have deep conversations among ourselves as staff, among our board, among our community. We're going to have to really take a deep dive look at what needs to be done and what has to be changed, particularly in our secondary schools, for all of our children to receive the quality of education that they deserve and that they are receiving in some of our schools. So I think it's a good day for the students of HISD. I want to say to you students that are here, I'm extremely proud of you. Janessa over here, I know she's a little shy. Saw her hand do like this. Her mom knows it too. But I want to tell you, young lady, how proud I am of you, and all of us are of you. She scored 4 times her expected growth this year in math. And Axel, you think it would be too much to ask both of you to stand up? Could you just, you don't have to talk, but you could stand up? Axel here this year scored commended for the first time. First time. 21 percentage point increase in his math scores. So what have we found out about our Apollo program? We believe that all of the tenets are very important. A quality teacher in every classroom, exemplary strong school leader, we know that. Directed help, the tutoring, and to you math fellows, thank you both. You don't know how much we appreciate you. We know that's important. We know frequent assessing of kids and reteaching is important, and we also know that creating a different type of no excuses, can do, whatever it takes culture is extremely important. And the things that we've learned there, we're beginning to cascade into other schools in the district. And we're very pleased with that. I can't tell you right now today. I've sworn to secrecy, but in the coming week, we're going to have 3 additional exciting announcements about significant levels of funding coming from the private sector to help support the efforts in these schools. And James Calloway, who is the president of HISD Foundation, who has absolutely been instrumental to our fundraising efforts, is here today. And I'd like to shout out James and call him out for his work and tell him how much we appreciate his efforts to help us find the funding to really see whether or not these principles work. And we're not willing to declare victory with these Apollo schools, not at all. And I can tell you when one of them doesn't work or we're not as successful as we would like for it to be, we won't give up. We'll go back and look again, because all children deserve a quality education here in Houston, and we're going to keep at it.